This is the Citi Newsroom, and this is the complex of the Sekondi High Court. Now, the court today would be giving its final verdict of the case involving the 4 kidnapped Takoradi girls. Speaking of Ruth Abaka, Priscilla Bentum, Ruth Lafquising, and Priscilla Crunchy, 4 ladies who were taken away from this part of the country in 2018, from July 29 to December 21st. Now, as we have been here, a number of individuals, key stakeholders in this case, have been appearing. We've seen family members of the girls, fathers and grandfathers of some of the girls. We have also seen the suspects being brought in. They were ushered in sometime around 8:30 in the morning in handcuffs. I am speaking about Samuel Uduituk Wills as well as John Oji, the 2 suspects who have for some time now been making court appearances with regards to this particular case. Now, we do know that family members some of them have been calling for the head of some members of the police service. Some of them are denying that the girls are indeed dead, even though the police service says that DNA test actually confirms this. Now, in today's edition of the Citi Newsroom, we will be bringing you different legs to this particular story and possibly bring you reactions from family members after the verdict, and also what the verdict itself is. In your shot are the 2 individuals, in handcuffs, being whisked away into the car standing by, or the bus, the Ghana Prison Service bus standing by for them. The verdict has been delivered. Death sentence for the 2 suspects in this particular case. Now, they are being guarded by security personnel. They are just mounting the bus in your short. Now, their fates have been determined. Death sentence on all the counts that have been brought against them. 8 counts. The charges brought against them, 8 counts in all. The 7-member jury panel all ruled unanimously that the 2 individuals, Samuel Uduitek Wills as well as John Orji, are guilty on all counts brought against them, and hence have been charged with murder, all to run concurrently. Let's pick sound bites from the father of one of the girls.
Where is Mami Tiwa? And the CID, officers, where are they? You want some of you who are gonna hire your fair. About what 2 weeks. Cat and among whom there, Nanako father will win. Mahama will lose. Also, I'm pinning out the cocotte and cat and or tray. Since I had our feet in a hay. Eben result in a worker DNA test now. What I blind Hannah will from our back and move from woo. I had him there, Yambano, or post for 9 and not 2 and Mammy 2 or Yambano or Mammy 2. No, I'm paying for organ honor. So, what's your bois? When you Mammy 2 umbra? No, I had about 10 Mammy 2 in your embassy because I am a farmer.
All right, so let's try and speak to the father of one of the girls. Another Daddy. Yes. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, by the grace of God.
Wow. So the verdict just got read out. Guilty, sentenced to death on all 8 counts. What is your initial reaction, sir?
Okay, it is the government who is doing this work. So, as the verdict is read, I don't have anything to say about it because they have been designed to do the work of persecuting offenders. So, as the verdict has come, I don't have anything about it.
But has it brought some finality for you?
Oh, okay. The finality is that after all, at least I've seen that justice has been done. Okay. Yes.
So you essentially accept the verdict of the court then?
Oh, I accept it.
So it appears that the family of the 4 kidnapped girls, some have accepted the verdict and some are also not so happy with the verdict. I'm here with the grandfather of Ruth Abaka. Senior, you just heard the verdict. What did you make of it after about 2 or 3 hours of witness statements and things? You just heard the final verdict. Guilty and have been ordered or sentenced to death.
Oh, the court is acting on its merit. According to what the police has presented to them, that they have gone through all to judge it. And I have been saying, when a police investigate bad thing, the Attorney General will prosecute bad. Do you follow me? When police, Attorney General doesn't investigate case. Police investigate case. So when they do wrong investigation to the defense, he will say that you told the police to bring Tiwa, who accepted that our children are with them and they are in good shape. Since from that point, you have never and ever hear from Tiwa. You question IGP that you should bring that very Tiwa to answer us. He refused. IGP, this current he refused. All the investigations, the moment you mention Tiwa, they put it across a different way. And you have denied, when you went to inspected the skeleton, you deny that if our daughters has been killed, the skeleton is more than 60 years. You cannot compare 60 years skeleton to 6 months. So you deny it entirely. So what they have judged and they've written is the court this, but we don't believe it. Me and Sekondi, I don't believe it. My granddaughter is dead. It's alive and it's with the police. And they are not going to be happy. You are going to pray and have their spiritual movement that wherever that they have sent the child to, whether they have done any other thing to them, unless Tiwa come to us.
This case received national attention from different quarters. One of the groups that were heavily involved in the advocacy for the case was the Concerned Mothers Association, who essentially held some demonstrations to bring some more highlight onto this particular case. I have the convener for that particular group here with me. Ma, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
So the court just ruled, found the 2 suspects guilty and has sentenced them to death.
Yes.
I'm sure this should make you happy.
Yes, I'm very happy. I'm extremely happy. Yes, I'm extremely happy with the verdict. So if only they will not make that appeal, then I will be very happy.
You spent days, organizing protests. How important is it that, this case be brought to an end?
Oh, the families are not all that happy about the way the issue started. They were not happy. And so sometimes when you call them, they think that maybe the girls are found and you are bringing them to them. But sometimes too, if we see the way they are feeling, we share their sentiments. And so I am really happy that at long last, the verdict has been given and things will go on well.
So for about 4 hours of time spent in court with the Court of Appeals Judge Richard J. Frimpong summarizing the case from when it started to where we are now, and then the 7-member jury sharing their ruling, which was followed by the court sentencing the suspects to death. The suspect had been whisked away back to the prison. But before we go, I have here with me my colleague Kwesi J. Nim, who has been following this case since the very beginning in 2018, to give us a summary of what transpired in court today.
Well, Bobby, the case actually started exactly around 9:30 a.m. Where Justice J. Frimpong, the Court of Appeals judge who actually presided over the case, opened the case by inquiring of the major stakeholders of the case, that is the prosecution team and the defense team. And surprisingly, the prosecution team were around, but when it came to the defense counsels, we only had a representative for one of the lawyers, and so the 2 of the lawyers didn't actually showed up. And then we moved on. The judge actually moved on by opening a summary of all the case that has actually been, presented to the court by both the defense and the prosecution team, and that took us close to 2 hours. That is from 9:30 to 2.5 hours. That is 12:30 before we actually went on recess. And just after the recession, the judge just went in to ask the jury if they have actually had any agreement on their decision And the jury leadership actually told the court that, yes, they have a unanimous decision, and all the 8 counts, the jury found them guilty of the 8 counts. And so the judge passed his judgment, which is sentenced them to death according to the laws of the land. And so that has been the proceedings from the courtroom.
But they have, I think, 30 days to actually appeal.
Yes, that is one of the points, I mean, the judge made to the counsel representative to the defense, the accused, that they have 30 days to actually appeal if that is they want to appeal. And so that's been the situation.
So, Kwesi, quick one. You were in court for almost 4 hours. Can you share with us what the mood was in court with respect to the various parties, the accused, the security persons, the prosecution team, as well as all the others that were there, the family members and all?
Well, I would say it was one of a calm, mood in the courtroom, because even the accused persons were very, very much calm. Checking their demeanor, you didn't see that they were tensed up. They were very calm. Again, I would say the atmosphere was not that interesting comparing to what we've seen in the early days of the court, of this case. Because previously, when they come here, the place is barricaded just to keep people away. But it seems the long running of this case has actually, increased the level of apathy, and some people don't even know that the ruling is today.
All right. So there you have it, my colleague Kwesi Ejenim, for close to 3 years. He has been following this particular case.